You know, I feel like this is gonna be a video that I'm gonna have to make probably every year, knowing these guys. It's been almost exactly a year since I made my video of me diving into King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard's discography. It's kind of crazy to think that since then they've already released 4 albums. I mean, these guys really truly are the hardest working band out there, you know. God really made these guys in a factory to just pump out psychedelic rock music. Quick rundown if you don't know who King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard is. I don't know why you're watching this video, but they're basically, it's a 7-piece psych rock band, and they do other genres too. Really cool stuff. So we're gonna talk about these albums in chronological order. The first one being Ice, Death, Planets, Mushrooms, all sorts of stuff. I really enjoyed this album. I enjoyed this album a lot. The first time I listened to this thing, I was driving on the freeway. It was really quite the vibe, if you ask me. It's a jam record, you know. I think the way this album was produced, if I can remember correctly, is like the band members kind of just went into the studio with just the title of the track, the tempo of the track, and like the key signature of the track. And then they were basically like, all right, let's jam. And they jammed, bro. They jammed hard. There's a lot of great jam sessions in this record. All these songs are really long, so if you're not into like long instrumental jam sessions, you're really not going to enjoy this, but or maybe you will, who knows. I mean, there's a lot of fantastic riffs, even though a lot of it probably is improv. It doesn't feel super improvisational, so that's kind of a cool vibe, I think, of the record. Iron Lung, bro, dude, that song is such a groove, dude. I think the only song that I really have a problem with is the last track on this album. I don't know why, but the last 2 times I've listened to this album, I got to like the last 2 minutes of that track and I was like, okay guys, I get it, I'm gonna turn it off. But it's a jam-tastic record. I can definitely see myself going back to this thing. There's so many good hooks in this thing. I feel like every single song on this record has something special about it that makes me want to go back to it. And that's a really cool thing about this record. Did this record need to be an hour long? Probably not. Am I upset about it? Definitely not. By the way, I don't know if this is a thing that they've always been doing. Have they always been doing this whole thing where they go like, woo, in like the middle of their songs? I feel like in the past 4 records, the woo counter has gone up exponentially. Maybe I just didn't notice it before when I listened to all their other records, but I've noticed it a lot in these 4 records. It's fun, so I'm not complaining about it. The next album that they released was Laminated Denim. This is kind of a sister album, I guess, to Made in Timeland, which I only listened to Made in Timeland once, and if I can remember correctly, Laminated Denim sounds nothing like Made in Timeland. I think I remember Made in Timeland being like super, almost kind of experimental, at least for King Gizzard, you know. They were experimenting with like some electronic soundscapes and almost kind of ambient stuff, if I'm remembering correctly. This album is nothing like that at all. This is just another jam-tastic record. This might be the record from the 4 that I'm gonna go back to the least, because I think if I want to just listen to an album where the Giz guys are jamming, I'm gonna just listen to Ice, Death, Planets, Mushrooms, oh my. But that doesn't mean that this album's not good. I mean, I still enjoyed my time with this record. This is just 2 15-minute long tracks, by the way. It's like a 2-song album. Each song's 15 minutes. Honestly, they flow really well together, so it kind of just feels like one 30-minute long jam session, if you will. But it's great. I don't know if I'm gonna go back to it a whole lot. It's not my favorite record, but it's fun. It's easy to get through. It's not like I'm gonna trash on this thing. It's not really offending anyone, you know. Like it's not offensive at all. It's not like it's Infest the Rat's Nest or something, which I still haven't listened to again. I've only listened to it once. Maybe I should go back to Infest the Rat's Nest. Maybe my opinion has changed, especially after listening to Dragon Apocalypse, which we'll get into later, because first we gotta talk about Changes. Keep your pants on, guys, you fucking dirty metalheads. Changes is probably my favorite record out of the 4 records that they released since I made the last video. It's a very cool vibe. It's like this like jazz fusion type thing. I was a big fan of Sketches of Brunswick East, so it kind of makes sense that I would be a fan of this record as well. Not that these 2 records are exactly the same, because they're definitely not. I feel like this record, Changes, could be a little bit more psychedelic at times, a little more jammy at times too. That's also the thing too. I feel like all 3 of these records are like super jam-tastic. And, you know, and after a couple of jam-tastic records, you kind of get a little tired of the jams, you know. That's probably why it didn't resonate with Laminated Denim as much, because the jams on Changes, they're jams. I'll tell you that much. Changes like opens up with like this like 12-minute track, which is a fantastic way to open up the album. The 12-minute track has like all these different like chord progressions and stuff like that. Like it progresses throughout the song. And then I think the rest of the songs on the album are kind of built off of those kind of snippets that we hear in the beginning of the album. At least I kind of picked up on that a little bit. I also kind of read that that was kind of the case, which is a cool concept for an album. You know, you show off all your ideas in the first 12 minutes and then you expand on those ideas later on in the album. Really great idea. But not, I feel like not every song expands on the first track. Like Exploding Suns, I feel like does not expand on that first track. But Exploding Suns is still a great song. I think AstroTurf has to be... Oh! Holy shit, wait, before I talk about AstroTurf, when I first listened to this thing for the first time, I did not notice the switch from Changes to Hate Dancing. I literally thought the song was still going. And then I looked at my phone and I was like, wait, holy shit, I'm like 2 minutes into the next track. Like, it was really cool, you know, because that's something that King Gizzard does really well. It's just like having these flowing albums, you know. Case in point, the album that just loops forever and ever and ever. Where was I going with that? Oh yeah, no, yeah, that was just a cool transition. I think lyrically, AstroTurf is one of my favorite King Gizzard songs. I don't know why. I just think I really like this song. It just has some really cool environmental ideas, and I like the chorus about like the butterfly and stuff like that. It's like kind of an interesting story. Kind of sad, actually. Honestly, kind of sad. I think Changes is the record that I'm gonna go back to the most out of these 4 records because I just really enjoyed the sound of it. So if you watch my last video I made on King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, then you know that I was not a big fan of their thrash metal albums. Infest the Rat's Nest, I listened to only once, and I hated it. I didn't hate it. I just didn't enjoy it. And everyone in the comments was like, bro, that's like the best fucking album. Do you even understand music? L video. L video. I went into what is it called? It's called Petrodragonic Apocalypse. The Dragon Apocalypse. Dragon Tales. When I went into Dragon Tales, I knew it was a thrash metal album. I literally sighed, bro. I had the biggest sigh. I was like, all right. And I listened to the first 2 tracks and I was like, I can't do this right now. So then I listened to Laminated Denim instead. I've listened to this thing like 3 times. I've tried to get into it. It's cool. I mean, like, look, okay, I'm not gonna sit here and say it's a bad album. It's not a bad album. It's like, if you're into thrash metal, you're probably gonna really enjoy this thing. There's parts of this album that I actually really enjoyed. I just feel like the thing is, for me, is like, I'm not the type of guy that can just sit down and listen to a thrash metal album. It's just not my thing. When I try to sit down and listen to this thing, like, it's exhausting. There's so many times where the guitars are just going, the vocals are like, Motor Spirit. And I'm like, bro, give me a break, please. Like, it's a lot for my little smooth brain to handle sometimes. I can picture myself in certain scenarios enjoying this a lot more than I did when I was listening to this before. For example, if I was playing COD Zombies with my good friend Josh, Black Ops Zombies, like we normally do when we hang out, I can picture us having a blast listening to this album, you know, playing some COD Zombies. And then also this morning, I listened to this thing in the gym. I kind of enjoyed it a little bit more when I was listening to it in the gym, you know. I was pumping the iron, just like, that's the guitars. But no, it was fun listening to it in the gym, and I was like, maybe, because I went pretty hard today, and I was like, maybe I should start listening to the thrash metal when I work out. Dragon Tales is not a bad album, okay, guys? Don't be writing L take in the comments. L video really gets to me. Really hurts my feelings. Just kidding. No, it doesn't. So that's my opinion on the 4 new King Gizzard albums. Let me know what you guys thought of these 4 albums, and thank you for watching. I don't know why I said it with a question mark. Thanks for watching.